திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். நம பார்வதி பதயே.
Have you heard of a word called ojas? O-J-A-S, ojas? No? No? Okay. The word ojas means a non-physical dimension of energy. That is, you can generate a certain amount of non-physical dimension of energy around you. If you have ojas around you, your passage through the world, the passage through life becomes well lubricated. That is, you will pass with minimum amount of friction. In the Far East Asian cultures, an enlightened being is referred to as Enchi. Enchi literally means a circle. You know, your car, do you have… what kind of wheels do you have? Round wheels or square wheels or triangular wheels? What do you have? Oh, but triangular wheels would be definitely more jazzy, isn't it? Why round wheels? Least amount of resistance. With least amount of resistance it rolls. Any moving part we want to make it round because it moves with least amount of resistance. So we are referring to… in the Far East Asian cultures, they are referring to an enlightened being as Enchi, which means he's a circle, not because he's round of body, because he moves with least amount of resistance, well lubricated. You may have a fantastic driving machine, just take off the engine oil and drive it. How long do you think your car will last? Your Jaguar, how long will it last if you take away the engine oil? Maybe 10 minutes. In 15 minutes, it'll be gone. So lubrication is that important. In anything that moves, lubrication is that important. So if you want to move through the world without being well lubricated, you will see every step of your life seems like friction and every step of your life will be suffering because there is no lubrication. There are lots of people like this. They're intelligent, they're competent, they're capable, but their life is a mess because every step they take, they are in friction with something. So if you develop a certain amount of ojas around you, you pass through this existence with least amount of friction. The less friction you have, the more you would like to do, isn't it? Yes? You would naturally venture to do a lot of things if you had no friction problems. But every day you step out, you get into some friction, you will hesitate tomorrow to step out. This is happening all the time, isn't it? When you develop ojas, if you start developing ojas, one thing that'll happen to you is all the excess weight in the body will start going away by itself. Oh. You know, if you come to the yoga center, you will see certain people at certain times will be in a certain type of sadhana or certain type of inner work. When they're doing this, these days we keep them completely secluded because people get scared looking at the way they eat. They will eat 10 times of what a normal person would eat, heaps of food, but they will be losing weight. We will put them on high-fat diet, all ghee, milk, butter, like this. In spite of that, they will continue to lose weight simply because they're converting the physical into non-physical dimension of energy. Whatever they consume is just burnt and it doesn't become body, it becomes another dimension of energy. In yoga, we call this as stealing from the earth. Because whatever you have right now, the mass of your body, is something that you have borrowed from this planet. You can borrow Mother Earth is very generous with the loan that she gives. You can borrow as much as you want if you can carry it around. But when the time for payback comes, she will collect atom to atom. If you say, I've been here for so long, let me have one atom as a souvenir, no deal. She collects every atom back. So this is considered stealing from the earth because now you transform physical into non-physical dimension of energy. Now she cannot stop you. You can take it away with you. So this is packaging something for a long journey without she knowing about it. Otherwise, she will grab it back. If it's in the physical form, she'll filter it out. If it's in a non-physical form, the earth cannot hold it back. Now you're doing Shambhavi. If you're doing it every day, you will develop ojas, some amount of ojas, which will see suddenly everything seems to be facilitated for you, it just happens. If you do not have any ojas, you may have all other capabilities, but simply because of the fear of friction, you will be held back. I feel this is 80% of the world's population. They are all held back, always with the fear of what will happen to me, what will happen to me. Wherever they go, they will have bad experiences. If they step in and try to do something with some enthusiasm, tomorrow morning little friction happens and they stay back. I think this is 80% of the population, the fear of what will happen makes them into half a step, never a full step in their life. So, ojas or generating ojas is a very important part of living successfully in whatever you're doing.
In the yogic sciences, generally, ojas is seen as a non-physical dimension of energy. If you… because everything physical has come from the non-physical, if you create a cocoon of non-physical dimension of energy, cocoon does not mean like this.
Right.
On the cellular level, every cell has a little bit of non-physical dimension,
Correct.
a wrap around itself. That cell will continuously regenerate itself at a pace that is considered miraculous.
Correct.
Well, your recovery from anything, injury or any ailment will be like that. Above all, first of all, you don't get sick enough to be called sick. Depending on how violently you live.
Right.
When I say how violently, see, you're living a nice peaceful life, I live a violent life, I'm on full speed on a motorcycle. So, my life is 7 days of the week, 365 days. There's no day, there's no night. You know, sometimes it's 24 hours work, other days it's 18, 20 hours of work. It's a violent life. But still I have not cancelled a single event because I am not well. Such a thing has not happened in the last 39 years.
No, what you say, very beautiful.
A certain amount of ojas kind of puts you back always. It doesn't matter. It's not that I have not been unwell, well, I caught flu, I caught this, I caught that many times. But no matter what's happening, I can still continue my activity.
Right.
So, if what you said kind of interests me, that ojas is that kind of energy which is not physical in nature.
Right.
But if you are incubated in that always, if every cell is incubated in that always,
Correct.
your recovery or your ability to be beyond what physical things do to you.
I even say that ojas can be measured on physical level in physical term as ojosar. Then tejas can be measured. Then there is a para ojas and upper ojas. So, para is superior. Superior ojas is ashtabindvatmakam param ojam rudistitaha. So that 8 drop, ashtabindvatakam ojas, the 8 drop of superfine ojas that comes to the heart and that stimulate pacemaker SA node, then it stimulate to the AV node and to the bundle of His. All cardiac activity are governed by that superior ojas. Then inferior ojas is Ardha Anjali, which is half pint. and that is circulating throughout the body to maintain immunological response. But there is a Shakti Roop Ojas that become aura. So if you do meditation, you are in samadhi, then that your upper ojas become para ojas become aura. And that halo, that aura is nothing but ojas. But the color of the aura is tejas. And pulsation of aura, vibration of aura is prana. Even at the auric level, ojas, tejas, prana are operating in a subtle Shakti form. But in a physical form, ojas, there is a ojo prakriti. And Ayurveda says the person who is very handsome, dynamic, with attractive eyes and very charming personality, when he comes, there is a whole vibration.
I look like a blind man.
Yeah. So that is called, so you fall into that category. Your prakriti is ojo prakriti. So ojas is a physical thing. Ojas can be psychological thing, which is bliss, joy, happiness, and ojas can be spiritual thing, which is samadhi.
So Ayurveda talks about these aspects, is it?
To some extent. Charak does talk about.
I've always been so engaged with life, I never had the patience to study anything. I'm just absolutely involved with life inside and life outside.
Correct.
So I never sat down and made a study of anything. So you must tell us, you spent a lifetime of study.
I think your whole life is a study. Even you are driving motorbike, still you are observing, you are learning. There is no end to the study, no end to the learning. Learning is at every moment. And that is your humbleness. You say, I have no time, but you are always in that process.
So just now, yesterday night, some journalist was asking me, when you're writing, what are you thinking about? Are you doing this, doing that? I said, not just when I'm writing. At any time, I'm not thinking about anything. Because this whole… this is a European disease that has caught the whole world, it's a pandemic. That people think human thought is more significant than human attention. Human attention, if it is keen enough, intense enough and sustained, it can open any door in the universe.
Absolutely.
Human thought is just a recycling of what you already know. But somewhere our education systems, borrowed from European systems, has inculcated in everybody that your thought is more important than your attention. Attention to Creator's creation is more important than the nonsense that you make up in your head. But everybody thinks you must be thinking something, then only you're an intelligent person. Well, I don't think much. That's why my face didn't become long. With age, people, will lose their joy and they become like this, they think they've become serious about it. Well, I think seriousness is the worst ailment. Because it's such a joke that you are here just for a few years. Before you, thousands of years people have lived here.
Correct.
When you're gone, maybe the grass will be grateful because it's getting sustenance from you because you're buried underneath. Otherwise, everybody will forget in a little bit of time and the world will be fine without you.
Correct.
But everybody thinks that they have become so important in this universe that they become very serious. Silly little thoughts that they're creating have become bigger than the cosmos. So, I don't know, for me, life is about attention. How keenly attentive you are is how much you know of life. Because everything that needs to be created is already created.
Great.
You just have to be attentive and enjoy the bounty of life that's here.
Absolutely.
But people are trying to make up their own little world. Their idea of a world is one stupid building that they call as home and so much bank balance and 4 wheels parked in front of their house which is shinier than the neighbor's wheels. I mean, this is their idea of creation.
Correct.
when there is a magnificent creation all over. So this creation of my job, my family, my this keeps them busy and away from the Creator's creation, which is the worst thing that can happen to you.
Absolutely.
So Ayurveda, if it has to become the way of the world, not necessarily in the form that it's come from India, it can happen in so many different ways.
Right.
The fundamentals are right, but how it finds expression in different societies could be
Correct,
different.
correct.
If it has to happen, first and foremost thing that needs to happen is that there must be a significance for the creation above your own creation.
Correct.
Till then, I don't think people will take to Ayurveda. Everybody is looking for a quick fix of some kind.
ஒளியில் நின்ற விளைவே என் சத்